there's one patient, he was talking to me about how tips on quitting smoking. I know that's a tough one, but I think the first and the foremost part is you have to be uncomfortable with smoking. You have to get to the point where it's like, I gotta stop. I there's no choice. This is gonna kill me. And there was another patient that I had. He ended up having some a series of heart attacks, and ended up in a coma and all this stuff. And anyways, when he come out of that rehab and the hospital and stuff, that was it. No more smoking. He quit cold turkey. Not no stepping down, not doing the Nicorette and the patches or whatever, and you could always use those tools to help, taper yourself off, but you have to become uncomfortable first. You have to determine that this is something I have to change, or it's going to kill me. Like, create that artificial kind of sense that, maybe if I smoke take another puff, that's going to be it for me. If you get to that kind of mentality and you see it as a life and death situation, you're going to be like, forget it, man, this is not worth it, but people use these and different things as to comfort themselves, and it helps them with their nerves and all this stuff. But you have to become, if you really want to change, you gotta get to that point of uncomfortableness. So courage, remain comfortable. So yeah, it talks about, we got to develop that courage. And so some of the things we could do, we could set goals for ourselves. We could set timelines for doing things, or making change, or we could start, like I was saying before, we could expose ourselves to more to other ideas and ways of life, and being exposed and seeing, hey, I don't have to eat the same type of foods or do the same type of activities. I can change my schedule, my lifestyle, whatever it is, and create that artificial kind of uncomfortableness to stay the same, and to kind of be disgusted with whatever you're wanting to change. You have to get disgusted and get to the point like you just abhor it, and you just don't want anything to do with it. Then you're gonna change. So some other ideas with the relationship. If you don't like how the relationships are in your life, have the difficult conversations. That's one thing. Most people don't like confrontation, right? It's uncomfortable, but that's how change is going to happen in a relationship. Learn tips and tricks on how to deal with confrontation, and maybe I'll do a video on that. But when you do, when you're dealing with people and they're rubbing you the wrong way, they may not even know that they're rubbing you the wrong way, or they may know, but not to the extent that they're doing it. It's like, you might have to bring it to their attention. That's confrontation. You don't have to be mean in confrontation. I think confrontation is and the most effective confrontation is coming with empathy and sympathy, and trying to just be humble about it, and just say, this, you're probably not aware. Try to give them the benefit of doubt. Or did you know? You could ask questions like, did you know that when you do XYZ, that makes me feel bad? And talk about your feelings. Don't pass judgment on them and what their heart, why they did what they did. Stay away from that. Just focus on how that person is making you feel, and have those difficult conversations. Talk about the change that you want to see in this relationship, and start to implement those changes for yourself. So having those difficult conversations is another way, is one way to improve your relationships, kind of change your life. Um, scheduling yourself for exercise, or to read a book, or listen to a book, or do and pick up a hobby. These are things that can make you feel uncomfortable, and you got to commit yourself to it, right? Because at the end of the day, you'll be like, man, I'm tired, I don't want to do that. And then I'm a gardener, and I'm out here in the garden here, and what prompts me to get out and garden, because I'm actually, I feel like a lazy gardener. I don't pull all my weeds. I let them grow, and I'm like, okay, they're killing off my plants now. I have to contain this. It's getting too wild. The grass is getting too high, whatever. And I'm like, I gotta do something. Seasons change, so I'm like, man, I don't want to miss out on this upcoming fall season. And so that will prompt me to kind of go and clean out a bed and get it ready for the fall garden. And so sometimes there's these external pressures, right? But you got to let it become uncomfortable, right? When I'm like, man, this is wasted space, because it's just weeds growing in there, and I'll go and transform it, and I'll feel so much better about it. But you have to become uncomfortable with the weeds in your life, and your job, and your relationship, and any aspect of your life. There's always weeds growing. There's always things that don't belong. There's fat that needs to be cut. There are things that are off kilter, right? It's the gears are not working like they're supposed to. You may just be kind of going through the flow, and you're like boom, 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 and it's not smooth. It's not the way it's supposed to be. So let that become uncomfortable for you to accept your circumstances.